Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you my review of The White Tiger by Aravind Adiga. This was my buddy read for the month of November. So if you want to do the buddy read along with me this month, that is December 2020, then you can check out my December TBR, in which the buddy read for December 2020 is The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Before getting into the various segments of the review in which I discuss the plot, characters, the writing and the pacing, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up for certain things that are in this book. There are some violent scenes and there are some, very disturbing scenes throughout the book. So I'm not saying that they are explicit, okay? They are not mature content or anything. I'm just saying that if you're a very emotional person, you get emotional like that, this might be a book which you have to consider and give thoughts before getting into, because I didn't know much and I was kind of in an emotional state then, and there were certain triggering points in the book which made me close it and set it up aside for some time and then pick it up again. So if you're a person who gets very emotional easily, do consider certain other sources for reviews whom you rely on and then pick up the book. I'm not at all saying that it's a bad book in any way. It's a really well written, excellent work of art if you ask me, and there are just these certain things which you have to consider if you're an emotional person, because I felt that it needs to be addressed before you get into the book if you're watching my review. And yeah, now we'll get into the actual review. First, let's see something about the plot of this book. Now, the plot of this book actually revolves around the single character named Balram, who's from this small rural part of India called Lakshmanghar, and he's studying there, and we follow Balram from a very young age while he's in middle school until he becomes an adult and does a work that pays him well. Okay, but what we have to keep in mind is that the actual age of Balram is not at all known throughout the book, because his birth date is not known. Hence, the story just proceeds in such a way, and I think it was a really bold move of the author, because it just represented reality in certain parts of India in a really, in the best way if you ask me. Okay, it was so original to read, and also we can see multiple ways in which the plot actually focuses on Balram, but actually tells about the things that are going around him from his point of view. Okay, and I think it was a really good move in that way. He grows up in Lakshmanghar and he works in a tea shop after discontinuing school after a certain amount of time. And while he works in a tea shop, he learns to drive and he goes as a driver to Delhi and he works as a driver there. From there, certain things happen in his life which you have to read, because there are certain plot twists to the book, and it is a really good plot if you ask me. But is it a plot which will just make you keep on flipping the pages? It's not something like that. It will make you pause at certain instances and think, because there are many things that are like exactly tied to reality in this one, and I just like that element of the plot in a really good way. Moving on to the characters of this book, there's only one main character throughout the story. It's Balram himself, because we get the story narrated from his point of view alone, so we don't get a lot of characters put into focus, because he's the center of focus throughout the book. From page 1 to the last page, Balram is the only main focus. Apart from him, we also get to know a lot about Balram's family, and on reading about his family, it's really easy to empathize with him and understand why he is, and the way he acts is mainly because of the things that he's experienced within his family. Despite the things that he is proficient in, there are certain things which he just has to give up for the sake of nothing and no one, just because his family wants him to, and that just shapes his character in a really good way. And I was able to see that in a pleasant way from Balram, in a vivid way from Balram, in a really good way. Also, the boss character that was depicted in this one in Delhi, who's Ashok, he was also a really good character that was shown. Okay, not every boss is good, not every boss is bad. Okay, everyone's kind of grey. That's what is shown in this book in a really good way. There are certain people who are like outright bad. They are also shown in such ways in this one, and I just like the characterizations a lot. There's not even a single character in this book which I liked, but I liked each and every characterization in a really good way. There's a difference between liking a character and liking the characterization. I like the characterization more than the characters in this book. Moving on to the writing, that's the strongest part of this book if you ask me, and I think one of the main reasons the book became a Man Booker Prize winner is also the writing, because the writing of Aravind Adiga, it is really vivid. Okay, while he just talks about a place, he just doesn't describe it much, but he just makes you visualize that place in an instant very easily. Okay, there are just certain things that he mentions, not each and every this tree looks like this. He doesn't go on describing stuff in that way, but he just provides the apt amount of description needed to visualize a place and to imagine in what kind of place all these things are happening. It is really good in that sense. Also, apart from that, one thing which I liked a lot was the amount of satirity that he put into his work. Okay, this book is really satire. Okay, for the strong things that it handles and the strong things that the author has executed to explore within this book. That satirity of the book was really a great support, if you ask me. It's a very strong story. As I said before, there are certain instances which will just make you emotional like this, but he just keeps you on track without making you get yourself lost in the feelings by his satire writing, which I just liked a lot. There were like small chunks of instances during which I felt like certain things were a bit too exaggerated. It felt like it doesn't feel that much possible or probable to happen, because it's literary fiction. Okay, though it's fiction, it's something which can actually happen in real life. There are like spots, like 2 or 3 places throughout the entire book which where I felt like that. But apart from that, this whole story actually felt like not a story and just a piece of some person's life put into paper. It was really good in that sense when it comes to writing. Finally, talking about the pacing of this book, it is really consistent. Okay, it's not a fast-paced book or anything. It's a really dull and slow-paced book, but that dullness is consistent throughout. It doesn't just change like, okay, now the twist happened, so the story has to move on at a greater speed. It's nothing like that. The twists come, but even after the twists come, the pacing is as dull as it was before. I'm not saying it in a negative way, okay? It was really consistent. I like consistent pacing rather than pacing which just jumps up and down throughout the story, because it just makes me want to set the book aside for some time. But in this one, the pacing was really consistent. For the amount of hard things that the book explores, I think that dull pace is something which is necessary, because if you go on high speed and if you want to explore all those things, you cannot make the reader feel the things that you are trying to make them feel. And I think the author succeeded really good in that case, if you ask me. When it comes to my personal thoughts, I'll say that this is not a book which I like. Okay, I rated this one 4 stars. Okay, I'm not saying in any way that it's a bad book. For the kind of image that I had in my mind before getting into the story, I thought it is going to be an inspirational story or a motivational story, because it's going to be the story of an entrepreneur. But it is a story of an entrepreneur, but it's not motivational or inspirational in any way for me. It might be to some other people. I don't say it wrong in any way. Okay, I just think that this is not a kind of inspiration that I want. But this kind of writing is something which I like a lot, and I'm going to try and read some other books by the author as well. So yeah, if you do know some books like The White Tiger or some books with the similar type of writing in the White Tiger, please do let me know, because I'd like to read them. Okay, that's all for today. If you did find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, because I publish new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.